So my first apartment out of college was a studio apartment on Laurel Avenue in West Hollywood. It was in an unremarkable building, and my apartment was at the back of the courtyard. And you had to go down a flight of stairs to get to it, which placed my apartment below street level. It only had one window, which was a sliding glass door. And for the first couple years of my adult life, unsettling things happened in this apartment. I had my first and only night terror in that apartment. I woke up in the middle of the night, lying on my side, and I felt an evil presence standing next to the bed, glaring down at me. On a different occasion, while I was doing dishes, in my peripheral vision, I saw a floating orb of light travel through the room. And on a third occasion, a man knocked on my door one night, passing out political pamphlets because he was running for the local city council. And after chatting with me for a minute, he looked inside my apartment over my shoulder and said, I used to live here back in the 70s, which gave it a very Lost Highway David Lynch. But the most disturbing event that happened in that apartment happened the week of Thanksgiving, my first year out of college. One of my best friends, Neil, had offered to give me a ride to the airport because this was before ride-sharing apps and smartphones. And in exchange for giving me a ride to the airport, I agreed to take him out to dinner the night before, take him down the street to get a nightcap, then he would sleep over at my place and we'd go to the airport in the morning. So the night of, he comes over, we hang out for a spell. Neil goes out on the patio and smokes a cigarette or takes a call. We go to dinner, and when we come back to my place, we walk inside, and immediately something feels wrong. I look across the room, and the sliding glass door is wide open. We both kind of freeze, not sure what to make of it. I turn to Neil. Girl, did you leave the door open? Neil, no girl, I closed it. I don't leave doors open. Me, are you absolutely sure? I'm not mad, I just need to know what happened. Neil, no, I'm positive. Me, okay, then why is it open? Neil, I don't know. Do you think someone came in? Or broke in? I instinctively reached for my phone in case we needed to call 911, but it wasn't in my pocket. Wait, where's my phone? At this point, I had to put a pin in the whole "did someone break into the apartment" conversation, because I frantically looked for my phone and I couldn't find it anywhere. Was my cell phone missing somehow related to the sliding glass door being open? Neil helpfully suggested, I bet you left it at the restaurant. Here, I'll call them for you and see if they have it. And lo and behold, they did. It was a welcome return to having a logical explanation for something. Neil drove me back to the restaurant so I could grab my phone. And before we left, we closed and locked the sliding glass door. When we got back to my apartment, we immediately looked across the room to make sure the door was shut. And it was, blessedly. Sigh of relief, everything was back to normal. After all, Neil must have actually left it open. Dumb, pretty Neil. It was finally time to head down the street to grab that nightcap. Neil just had to make a quick pit stop in my bathroom. He headed to the bathroom off the hallway, and he calls out to me, Girl, what happened to your bathroom? I say, what do you mean? Just shut up and pee so we can go. And he says, no, come look at this. Oh God, what now? I think to myself. I walk into the bathroom to see what he was flapping his pie hole about. And I wasn't prepared for what I laid my eyes on. The giant medicine cabinet that hung over the bathroom sink was lying face down on the floor in a pool of broken glass. It looked like a crime scene. It looked like someone had gone on a rampage. Okay, what the hell is going on here? Now we were really wigged out. The open door, my phone going missing, the smashed medicine cabinet, what did it all mean? Did someone break in and rip the medicine cabinet off the wall? Nothing was missing as far as I could tell. Was it a drug addict looking for pills? And when they couldn't find any, they ripped the medicine cabinet off the wall in angry frenzy? Was it the guy I had gone on a date with the week before who was mad that I never called him back? He walked me home that night, so he knew where I lived. Had a prior tenant of the apartment returned to retrieve something they had hidden on the wall behind the medicine cabinet? A gun, perhaps? We considered the possibility that the medicine cabinet fell off the wall by itself, but that just felt highly unlikely. When was the last time anyone ever said, like, ugh, my medicine cabinet fell off the wall? I actually wondered if it was a poltergeist. I will say this, the energy in the apartment that night felt like we were being fucked with. Something was very wrong, and we didn't know what. Neil said very quietly, "What if someone broke in and they're still here in the apartment?" It was a studio apartment, so the only place someone could be hiding was the hallway closet. I gestured to Neil to grab something weapony and brace for me. I grabbed a cast iron skillet off the stove and walked up to the closet door. I slid it open slowly. As a connoisseur of scary movies, I've been prepping for this moment my whole life. This was my final girl moment, and I was ready. Okay, so no one was in the closet. It was a relief, but it was disappointing at the same time because it left everything unexplained. But side note, why do we look for intruders hiding in our houses that way? When we open the shower curtain, what do we think we're actually gonna do when we encounter a man in a black ski mask hiding? But I digress. Neil and I were very shaken at this point, but there wasn't much we could do. Nothing was missing from my apartment, and there was kind of a plausible explanation for everything that happened. We convinced ourselves that it was all a series of unfortunate events and went to bed. The next morning, Neil drove me to the airport, and nothing about the events that night ever happened again. But here's what I think happened that night in the apartment. I think someone did break in. And I think they were hiding in the hallway closet the first time we returned home. After we left to retrieve my cell phone from the restaurant, they came out of the closet, ripped the medicine cabinet off the wall, and took off before we could return. And I think my guardian angel made me forget my cell phone at the restaurant so that we would have an excuse to quickly leave when we got to the apartment the first time. The only piece that doesn't fit was that the doors were all locked when we got back from the restaurant the second time, so they couldn't have left the doors locked behind them. Unless they had a key.